Because I mean, you mentioned that, men that are in pursuit of, well, their careers because they want to be providers, because that's the archetype that they've all seen. But obviously, in order to pursue that or go down that road, sacrifices need to be made. And most of the time, it is usually the social connection element of things. Yet, we understand that that's so important for mental health. So it just almost seems like it's just this vicious cycle that men find themselves in, and maybe they don't know how to get off the hamster wheel. So what are some of the practical ways that men can actually build deeper connection, if it's even possible?
Well, it's definitely possible. I think where to begin with that one. I guess if we're talking about a man that's really feeling isolated, um, and feels like his social circle has diminished, and yeah, it's just grappling with a lot of things and feels overwhelmed, feels stuck, maybe feels a bit burnt out, and yeah, it's just lacking much meaningful connection in his life. Um, I guess I would say, and this, I mean, I mentioned I'm a therapist, so like, of course, I would say this one. I do think when it becomes something that feels like it's really lingering and it's been going for several months, a year, years, even, and it's not shaking, this kind of sense of like feeling quite isolated but wanting something different. Um, I would say, yeah, like look into a form of therapy. I think therapy can be really helpful in so many ways. Because you do build quite a unique relationship with your therapist. If it's someone that you feel like comfortable with, which is the whole point, you can just express everything that's going on in here that maybe you don't feel very safe expressing with others, with family members, with friends, and they can really help you make sense of things and normalize that isolation you might be feeling. There might be very good reason that you're feeling isolated. Like, um, I mean, you could say it could be about a cycle of depression. Maybe you felt quite depressed recently. Maybe you've had a really difficult breakup. You might have lost a family member fairly recently, and you might feel quite depressed. And when we feel depressed, what we often do is isolate ourselves because we don't want people to see us in such like a difficult place. But then that kind of it they fuel each other. So like we get depressed and we want to isolate ourselves a little bit. But then the fact that we feel so isolated and disconnected can make us feel even more depressed. So speaking to someone, a therapist that can really help you make sense of that and make you kind of just feel um, a little bit more like you again, and just kind of reconnecting with yourself. And that sounds very therapy jargony, but it's true. Like kind of the things you like, the things that bring you joy, the things that bring you a bit of connection, making those things feel a little bit less scary. Um, so I think therapy can be really helpful. If this is like a real thing you're stuck in and you just can't seem to shift it.